Hi y'all, this is Reccia with Pecan Creek Ranch, and like the title says, we're going to work with Kai today. Been away from this series for a while, and so we're just going to start out real simply today and do some basic groundwork stuff with Kai.
Let's go.
Hi y'all, thanks for joining us in this video, and I am so sorry I've been away from this series for so long. It's been a crazy year between moving our practice to a new location, publishing 2 books, which, by the way, if you haven't checked those out, you should. Don't worry, I'll put links in the description for you. We created a new set of cards called the Life on the Ladder cards, which help us talk to clients and demonstrate some different ways to engage with horses around body language, to understand body language, to understand and observe nervous system regulation and changes in states within the nervous system. So check those out if you haven't. We've been working on a curriculum for working with groups. Hopefully that will come out this year. And just a bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to go into because that's just not what this video is for. But I'll put links in the description in case you're interested in checking any of that out. All of that is just to say that I have been really overwhelmed, and I haven't left much time, energy, or emotional space to be spending the kind of time I need to be with Kai, or any of my horses for that matter. However, I'm working to change that, and hopefully this is the first video of this new year that you're able to see that is showing me and Kai kind of reconnecting and starting back from some of the beginnings of the work that he already knows and I already know, but that we really haven't done together in a long time. So you're going to see a lot of that in this video today, as you'll see here with me, just asking Kai to connect with me, attach with me, and start considering the requests that I'm going to be making of him today. So you can't see Kai right now, but he's on the other side of this barrel, and you can tell by him knocking it over. And I had just asked him to simply engage with me, get curious, and just be present. And he decided to knock that barrel over. So now I'm asking him to attach with me and to maybe step over some of these obstacles here on the ground. And he's paying good attention. He's been really connected with me. He's fine following me in attachment. And if this is your first time here and you're not familiar with some of the terms I'm using and the ways I'm using them with like attachment and detachment, which we'll do and talk about later, I want to encourage you to go look at Natural Lifemanship. This is language that has been developed and that we've created some principles around to help people who are working with horses specifically in trying to help people grow, whether that's through mental health or coaching or some other form of human service. Some people think attachment looks like join up. Some people think detachment looks like lunging. In practice, in intent, and in many other ways, it's quite different than both of those things. And this is not the video to go into that with, but we might talk about it in a different video if that's something you're interested in. Put it in the comments and let me know. So right now, Kai and I are focused mainly on attachment, which means I'm just asking Kai to attach with me and follow me around and engage with me in a few different ways around these objects. And I'm sorry about cutting some of this off. I didn't get my camera set up just right for a while here, but it will get better, I promise, if you just stick with me on the video. It has also taken me a while to adjust to the idea of filming again and thinking about all the things I need to with that. So we're just enjoying some time together. We're doing pretty good when it comes to attachment, which generally Kai seems to enjoy attachment. much better than he does detachment, which you will see demonstrated here in just a minute. So now you're going to see me start suggesting to Kai that we do a little bit of detachment, which is asking Kai to move away from me instead of moving with me or coming with me. I'm asking him to move his body away from me, yet stay connected with me so that we can discuss where we're moving to. In detachment, pressure is placed on the barrel rather than the hip or the rear. I think for horses that sometimes it can feel like us asking them to move away from us can feel like asking them to disconnect from us or to go away. At the very least, I know that's how some humans feel about it. What we're trying to help our horses with and people with is that asking you to move away from me doesn't mean we have to disconnect from each other. We can still be connected and attuned and understand and hear each other. So that's what Kai and I are working on here. But this idea and this activity is difficult for Kai. And part of what he's doing here with chasing my dog, Lemmy, is displacing his frustration, his confusion, his whatever he might be feeling onto Lemmy. And so I'm going to ask Kai to come back, reconnect. We do a little bit of attachment to help him settle in, and I go right back to asking for detachment. And he can do it for about 2 steps. And then I lose connection with him. He loses connection with me, and he displaces it onto Lemmy again. So I continue asking. So I'm keeping the pressure and the expectation the same that we're going to work through this. So we go right back to the same spot where we started it earlier. I'm going to ask again. Again, I get about 2 steps and I start to lose him. And this time I could feel that I was starting to lose him. So if you back up, you'll see me shift my pressure to his hip, asking him to attach again. And it's too late. He'd already disconnected. Did some displacement again. So we're just going to go back and try again. Now it's really important in all this that I don't lose my ability to remain regulated and calm. I have to be someone who is supportive of Kai through this struggle. If I lose my cool, if I get frustrated with him, I can move into just controlling, trying to control him, and it definitely will not improve our connection. Okay, so this time you notice that we get some detachment. He starts to disconnect, but I'm able to ask for attachment again, and he comes back, he reconnects and attaches, and we're able to move forward. All right, so we had some improvement on that detachment, so I'm going to release the pressure on that exact same exercise, and we're going to move into a little bit of a different exercise, but we're still working on the same concepts. Asking him to back up is asking for a little detachment. So I'm attempting to ask for some attachment from the front by focusing my energy and pressure on his hips at the side. Again, it's been a long time since I've done any concentrated work with Kai, and I usually don't have to be this clear and specific with asking him for attachment, and I have a little bit finer communication between us. But in this case, I needed to be more specific and clear. So if I remember correctly here, yeah, I'm asking him to back up some more and detach in that way, and you can see he blows right through me. And so I have to go back and ask him to come back, and let's try that again. Now you'll see that I don't come back and ask him exactly the same thing, and you may be wondering why, especially if you're an NL person, you're going to think, well, you released the pressure on that request. And yes, that's correct. And also no, because the intention of the request was for us to connect and to help me assess exactly where we are in some of these requests. Because as I found out that detachment at this time seems to be so difficult for him that he's displacing his frustration on my dog, that tells me that I need to pay attention to exactly where we're at in our relationship, especially because it's been a long time since we've really spent any concentrated time working together. And since my goal is for us to be able to connect and communicate well with each other, then that's what my focus is on, not necessarily on the outcome of each request. And it's kind of a nuanced distinction if you're new to this process, but hopefully something that you'll grow to understand as you continue working with your horses and in your relationships with these principles. So I'm asking him again to move away from me, detach, and remain connected, but just a few steps, not very far. And at this point, some of you may be wondering if your goal is to lunge him, because that's what it still looks like to you, then why don't you just put a halter on and put him on a lunge line and get him moving around? But once again, that's not my goal. That may be the result of what this work helps us do later, but right now my goal is to ask him to go first, to move his body forward in space first while still remaining connected with me. And the reason I am not doing this on a halter or a lunge line is because I'm wanting to make sure I offer him the most choices possible. Because I want to have the kind of relationship with my horses where they will tell me how they feel and they're honest with it. Like right now, Kai is honest about telling me he didn't want to stop. He wanted to keep coming close to me. And this is important information for me to know because it helps me know exactly where we are in our relationship and what we need to continue to work on. So that's what we're going to work on here. If I had him on a lunge line and I was controlling every movement of his feet, then I wouldn't be getting this information. And I may move us forward in our relationship to a point that we're not ready to handle, which can cause us both harm down the road. So we just did some pretty nice detachment. That was a big improvement from where we started earlier. So I'm just kind of taking a little break and hanging out with him a little bit. This gives us both a chance to just pause and process our experience together. So now I'm stepping away and just kind of gently holding the question in my body and my mind. Hey, are you still with me? And are you interested in doing some more? So I asked him to attach and start considering following me up to these two poles on the ground. And I'm asking him to move through. And I'm asking him a couple different ways. I want to see what he responds to and how he thinks about this. I started with attachment. Now I'm moving to detachment and asking him to walk through in detachment. And he obliges. He seems to be checking in and asking me to clarify what I'm wanting. So I do with a little more focused pressure, and then I wait for him to complete. And I hope you can see that we're not in any big rush here. If he is actively thinking about what I've requested and he's trying to do it or communicating with me in some way about it, even if he doesn't want to do it, but he's communicating with me about it, then I'm going to keep the pressure the same. And that doesn't mean just incessantly repeating my request until he does what I want him to do. It means holding a strong, sturdy, firm, compassionate presence with him that allows him the space to make mistakes and to be safe in figuring this out with me. I'm here to support him, not to tyrannize him or remove all the struggle in his life so that he doesn't ever have to feel any stress or discomfort. So I took some big steps away from him, gave him some good space, offered a really big release, and then I just asked him to come with me again. So we haven't really had a good conversation about this box here that we often use for a mounting block. So we're just going to have a little conversation about it, and I'm asking him to move around it. So at this point in the video, you should be able to tell what he is saying about how he feels about me asking for this sort of detachment. Let me know what you think in the comments. And this is a good time for me to pause and ask you to subscribe to our channel. It doesn't cost you anything but just one little click of your mouse to follow us. And it gives us a big boost and lets YouTube know that you think these videos are valuable and you want to keep seeing them. And if you're really enjoying them and you want me to make more, then share it with your friends and get us some more traffic to these videos, because the more traffic we get to them, the more it will be worth all the immense time and effort it takes to make these for you, though I'm happy to do it when I can. So now I'm continuing to work on both attachment and detachment with Kai by asking him to move around this barrel. And I'm just going to let you watch this process for a bit and see the progress we've made since the beginning of the video. Did you notice he started to disconnect and leave, and it took very little to ask him to reconnect and try again? That was a lot of progress from where we started, so I'm taking a moment to scratch him, which he generally really enjoys. And just keep noticing how we're taking our time and I'm not moving through things too quickly for him, but he's also not getting bored. I want to move slow enough that I'm not overwhelming his nervous system and causing him to have to move into fight or flight, but also fast enough so he doesn't suffer a lack of stimulation, causing him to move into hypoarousal or shutdown of his nervous system. So I think, widening the gap between those two poles on the ground. And I know you can't see me, but I am starting to ask him again for more detachment, for him to move out ahead of me to go first over those poles. And given our pattern in this video so far, can you predict what's going to happen? If you said he was going to walk some steps away from me and then lose connection again, you're right. So I asked him to connect again. Didn't take too much. And he says, yeah, I prefer connecting in attachment, and I'll follow you. But asking me to be the one to go first, that's a little bit harder. So remember earlier when I asked him to back up and he blew right past me? Well, now I'm going to use this as an opportunity to ask him again. And what does he do? He starts to blow right past me again. So I have some choices here. I could try to chase him and make him back up. Overpowering a horse and making them do what I want is something I know very well. But using the principles that we try to use about choice and healthy relationship, instead, I'm going to ask him to connect with me, to go with me again, and I'm going to try asking again in a little bit different way. And his body language tells me that he's having some feelings or confusion about this, and it's causing him some stress. So I'm trying to keep the pressure the same, but as you can see, it's kind of hard without increasing my energy too much. This is the imperfection of us working through this together. He doesn't need me to be perfect, but he does need me to hear him, see him, and listen to him, and make adjustments to the way I'm communicating with him. So I adjusted the way I was asking him. Instead of facing his body, I turned around and I sent my energy backwards by moving my own body backwards while I was asking him. I think this made my request clearer to him, and he was able to pick up on that change in my energy so that when I asked it with me facing him again, he could feel that my energy was asking him to move backwards. It was a small adjustment, and it took just a few seconds, but you can see it's had a big impact. Now this isn't so stressful for either one of us. And notice the big pauses that we're taking. Sometimes when we get something, we get excited and we want to rush on to the next thing and the next request and the next request. But these pauses are important for communicating the kind of relationship we want to have, which is one where connection and a healthy relationship are the priority, not me getting you to do the things I want you to do. And here you can see how effective that change in my communication was, and that we were able to shift from moving forward to backward with a pretty light amount of pressure and request. Now here again, I'm asking him to go through first instead of me. And we're kind of putting this all together here. All the things we've been working on the last 20 minutes or so. And I'm taking a pause and leaning into the gratitude I feel towards Kai, towards the opportunity to do this today, and enjoying this moment with him. And so I'm going to invite you to take a pause with us and pay attention to any gratitude you may experience for being here in this moment with us, for being alive today, for anything that you can find in your life that you're grateful for. Thanks for doing that with us. And now Kai and I are going to play a little bit with the barrel, putting all of these things together that we've been working on today.
You know just what you do to me. Play my emotions like a pair of puppet strings. Did it ever occur to you my heart's more than a toy? Please go easy on me, babe. Send message after message, forward my calls. Next day you hit me back like nothing happened at all. What about all the things you used to say to me? This ain't the way it's supposed to be. And you know I wouldn't do that to you. You know I wouldn't treat you that way, no. I've been running, can't catch up. Oh love, what I won't do. Oh, you got me chasing waterfalls. Oh, you got me chasing waterfalls. All of the times I've been there, times I came through, I'd meet you anywhere if it brought me closer to you. Distance is killing me, you make it so hard. Won't you let me love you, babe? Used to be optimistic.
And here I'm just so impressed with Kai.
Whoa!
You know the mother girls won't love you like I do. Can't afford to give up on you. And you know I wouldn't do that too.
And now I'm asking Kai to come over to the mounting block with me so that we can have another conversation about this mounting block again. And just pay attention, watch, and see what you notice in the difference of our conversation about the block from when we discussed it previously in this video.
I wouldn't treat you that way, no. I've been running, can't catch up. Oh love, what I won't do. Oh, you got me chasing waterfalls. Oh, you got me chasing waterfalls.
Keep your eyes on both me and Kai. Notice what's different about me and notice what's different about Kai. Let me know in the comments what you see. Maybe you'll pick up on something that I haven't noticed.
Chasing waterfalls. Oh, 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 you've got me chasing waterfalls. Oh, oh, you got me chasing waterfalls. Oh, you got me chasing waterfalls.
Well, that's it for this session with Kai. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey, and thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let us know, is there anything you would like to see me do or try with Kai? Ultimately, my goal is to be riding Kai more, and so we'll be working on that in upcoming videos as well. Y'all take care of each other, and we'll see you next time.